What's up, keepers, and welcome back to another Friday episode of ARS Goalkeeping, the top goalkeeper coaching and reviews channel on YouTube. Today we're going to check out the newest version of probably the best known pair of cleats for goalkeepers, the Adidas Copa Mundial 18.1 Sky Stalker Edition. And if you've ever asked any older goalkeeper or goalkeeper coach for advice on cleats, you probably heard great things about the original Copas, which are still worn in pro soccer to this day. Now, if you have come here wondering what's the best cleat for goalkeepers, there's no definitive answer because cleats are a personal choice, and preferences don't always match up. But as a rule of thumb for starting goalkeepers, I tend to lead them towards boots that start out with a firm leather upper and a higher heel because leather stretches along with your feet if the keeper is still growing, and it is thicker and more protective than a lot of those synthetic cleats you see on the market. And the cleat that has always fit this bill has been the original Adidas Copa Mundial. Suffice it to say, the newer 18.1 Copa has big shoes to fill. Adidas did bring their A game to mix in the newer tech like the compression inner sock that is fused into the tongue of the boot. The upper material on these Copas is my preferred K or kangaroo leather. There's also this raised ellipses across the upper leather for better ball control, and the heels have this super plush padding for a nice comfortable fit. The bottom stud pattern is the sprint frame that I don't think has changed much since the F50 stud pattern and bottom, which was a big switch from the original cone stud pattern on the Adidas Copa Mundial. I would like to think that when it comes to cleats, I'm a lot pickier, and for good reason. Keepers need their cleats to be at the back of their mind when they jump in goal. Anything that hinders our footwork and focus will be a detriment to everything in goalkeeping. This was my first time using the inner compression sock technology, and I wasn't impressed with the quality of the fit. It was just too wide in the heel and center foot area. I'm not sure if it's because the cushions on the heels compress and leave extra space to slide around, but for the first few uses of these cleats, I felt like my feet were sliding around a little too often, especially on my sharper side shuffles during goalkeeping. And while the compression sock did conform to my foot, it didn't squeeze anywhere near enough to stabilize that sliding. To countering this, I ended up double wrapping the laces and tightening them as much as possible, which did help out a ton, and also ended up ripping the top lace loops on both of my cleats, which really sucks because it was just starting out. Once I did get the tightness correct, I was able to enjoy the Copas a whole lot more. My favorite feature will always be the kangaroo leather. It has great touch and grip on the ball, and it was so much fun to juggle and mess around with these balls. If these fit a lot tighter, I could see the appeal of the compression sock on the inner too. But for this, it felt like it kept the cleat's shape without actually finding and conforming to the shape of my foot, which is the main reason I go for leather cleats. You seriously do break them in, and they ended up fitting pretty much like a glove. When it comes to goalkeeping, I definitely don't like any negative space in my gloves or cleats, so I wasn't very happy with the loose fit on the Copas. But they seriously stood out when it came to striking the ball and control. And this could be thanks to that sock body lining, keeping the cleat firm when striking the ball. But I did definitely love shooting on my keepers, and more often than not felt like I was picking on them with some of my upper 90 shot. It's a real pleasure to get around on the ball and really get a strong curving ball to hit the net. Luckily, the extra long shoelaces allowed me to lace these boots up like I did with my old Copas, and that helped me get the stability I was looking for when playing, and especially when goalkeeping. The modern changes definitely made this new Copa a whole new monster, and if I were a midfielder, I would have probably liked the cleats more, but I felt like the changes took a lot of heart out of the cleats that I as a goalkeeper enjoyed from the older Copa pairs. And when we take a look at our cleats after about 3 months of use, on all field types, you'll see they are still intact. The K leather upper doesn't have any ridiculous tearing or fraying, and the sole plate glue has not cut loose and begun to separate. Quality wise, this is why I love Adidas cleats. They use the best materials and they make boots that work for a long time. Sadly, there is a fatal flaw when it comes to lacing up these cleats, and I ended up tearing not one, but both lace loopholes on my cleats, which made them look a whole lot worse, and something that I really didn't expect to happen with a cleat from Adidas. Sure, it doesn't destroy the cleat, but it does affect the performance and worse, the aesthetic. And for the price of about $200 US or 145 British pounds, I would highly recommend you try these cleats out in person first to make sure that the fit is right, maybe even going down a size if possible to see if it fits better. And considering the sock line technology, I don't think these cleats will stretch too much. As a goalkeeper, I probably would drop back and get the original Copa over these next time. Yeah, so that's my review on the Adidas Copa 18.1. Don't forget to follow Alberto Ruiz Soccer on Instagram and leave some love down below. Thank you guys again, and I'll see you guys again very soon.